Hello, welcome back to Planet Dawn. It's been a while since I filmed an intro, and since it's a not so polar day today, I thought why not? I should film an intro. At the time of this filming, I actually completed the engagement storyline. However, I don't think I posted the video yet. I'm just lazy about editing. I work on a computer all day for my full-time job, and I hate doing computer work when I'm not working. So I craft a lot, I film a lot, but I'm always too lazy to actually edit anything. So that storyline is complete, and once I finished with that, I wanted to revisit 1/12 scale for a little bit. I have some notes here to keep me on track. So when I first started crafting, I worked exclusively in 1/12 scale because that is the dollhouse scale. Um, but I found it difficult to find dolls. So I was buying these silicone dolls, which I can't remember the name of. I even looked them up before I started filming this, and I can't find them anywhere, but they were really realistic. They were made out of silicone, but they were really expensive and really fragile. So, like, when you try to pose them, I was always like breaking arms off and breaking legs off and stuff. And for the cost of them, it was just not cost effective to use them for photos. And then it was kind of like, what's the point in even making stuff if you can't pose dolls in it? Planet Dawn, my son created it. So it's made up of all these different sort of island state, like almost like they're the states, these different islands. So the plan was to have one island that will always be everything I would make there would be in 1/12 scale. We have sort of abandoned that idea as the years have gone on. So, and once that happened, so I don't have a lot of places. I guess that's my point. I don't have a lot of places in 1/12 scale. I have apartments and rooms, but no actual places. So I'm going to spend some time this summer working on creating like public places in 1/12 scale. They're usually pretty quick projects because things are so small. And in fairness, most of the stuff that I purchase, like STL files, SVGs, like they're already in 1/12 scale, and I make them larger so that I can use them for 1/6 scale. So it's a nice opportunity to just kind of use things for the purpose that they were intended for. So I've already started working on what I'm calling Larkspur House, and it's in 1/12 scale. My original vision for this project was for it to be like an old money resort. And since I don't really know anything about old money, I don't know anything about new money either. I During the course of my research, it sort of morphed into a sort of Amalfi Coast inspired resort. So I'm actually really enjoying it. I've seen the aesthetic before, but I didn't know what it was called. So I filmed this intro so I can attach it to the Larkspur House video. So as I sit here filming this, I have no idea what it's going to look like. I am really excited to incorporate some STL files that I have into it, some digital papers that I bought and never used. And also, I have some old projects, 1/12 scale projects that I'm kind of tearing apart. It's kind of time for them to go. If you're new to my channel, I'm a polar bear. I'm just a middle aged woman that loves crafting, and hopefully, you will enjoy seeing what I decided to do with this project. I hope you will take some time to like and subscribe. And without further ado, here's a Larkspur house. I sew a capsule wardrobe as a part of every project. I use Barbie Extra Minis for all of my 1/12 scenes now. They are more durable than the TB League dolls, but they have their own issues. The biggest problem being their huge heads, no pun intended. Also, the dimensions of their faces are unnatural, so FaceApp is not an option to edit their expressions. I intended to use only fabric I had on hand. More on that later. I gathered up some fabric, notions, and patience and sat outside in my backyard to sew a few dresses by hand. I shrink my 1/6 scale patterns to 43% to make Barbie Extra Mini clothes. While these dolls are the right height for 1/12 scale, most of their height is actually their head. Once the packing was done, it was time to go. I managed to factory reset my 3D printer. I have a counter STL file that I use to make the front and back counter for the front desk area. This is printed and then painted with mahogany gel stain. Every project has a special spark. A friend of mine found a box of old dollhouse toys when she was cleaning out her parents' attic and generously gave them to me. I wanted to incorporate a few pieces into this lobby. I made the lobby first. That is why the color scheme is off. The whole Amalfi Coast theme did not come about until after I made the lobby. The dolls I use as background characters in 1/12 scenes are these cheap Temu mini dolls. I call them the dead-eyed dolls. I make a Pinterest page for each project, and this was one of my inspirations for the uniform. I made this little bellhop uniform from materials from the scrap basket. The luggage cart and the luggage are STL files. I am not thrilled with either of these paint jobs. This is what happens when I am too lazy to set up the airbrush. I usually create a separate scene for each outfit I sew if possible. Here is my inspiration for the courtyard. I made a quick one wall scene with a poster as the backdrop. I 3D printed the balcony, and the column accents were made from a silicone mold and hot glue. As you can see, this one wall set went up easy. This is just a picture I downloaded from Upslash and then sent it over to Walgreens to print. They always have a coupon code, so it ends up being cheaper than using ink from my printer. The gate is an SVG file that I ran through my Cricut on the 12x24 mat. This helps to break up the background and adds depth to the scene. Just like that, these little ladies are ready for lunch al fresco. Almost everything in the room is being reused from a she shed project I did in 2022. The armoire, sofa, and chair are paper projects. The artwork and the pink side table are from that same project. The only new contribution is the fabric for the bedding, and I recovered the sofa and chair. I was going for an open air room with direct access to the private plunge pool. This is foam board and some acetate for the water. Printing the water takes a lot of ink, so I don't do it often. Here is one of my inspirations for the plunge pool area. I decided to make the sun umbrella from paper because the STL file I had was going to take 2 whole days to print. I have a PLA and a resin 3D printer, but they are both very basic, so some files cannot be feasibly done on my machines. Cricut came to the rescue and I assembled a quick sun umbrella using supplies I had on hand. The exterior is nothing amazing. Just a trifold covered in contact paper. I sent the windows over to Walgreens and had them printed in size 4x6. I made lemon trees as a part of my exterior decor. This was a fun, quick polymer clay craft. I put Sophia in the gingham dress I made for her. That was inspired by this famous Jackie O picture. I think this dress is my favorite 1/12 scale item from this project. The whole scene is just adorable. Last but not least, I broke down and ordered fabric for this project. But when it came, the prints were very large and there was no way I could use them for 1/12 scale clothing. I decided to pull in my main characters and make a little bachelorette scene to connect this project to the main 2025 storyline. I was able to use the backgrounds and set pieces I already had. I am a sucker for tablescapes, so I made some plates, of course. Everything else was just pulled from the storage boxes. I just love these fabrics. I can't decide which dress is my favorite. I think it's Bridget's. So that's Larkspur House and the newly established Isola Rossa on Planet Dawn. I am thinking of revisiting this set around the holidays because I think a Christmas lobby could be fun. This is even a great option for the honeymoon. Let me know what your favorite craft from this project was in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.